Just when we thought we were safe, we're back in the Guitar Center.
Never safe.
News stories. This one's sort of a low and under the radar thing. But it's very serious. It's probably the most serious one we've seen in a long time. And it's not positive necessarily. It's another corporate structure. I'm sure they're not sending out newsletters to their guys. So Guitar Centers, they've been downgraded again, according to Moody's, which is a huge financial sort of review service. I was going to pick up some dumb things. Like the OnlyFans are, no, it's not. They're important. They review all these financial institutions and businesses and sort of say, hey, this is a good investment. This is a bad investment. GC was downgraded last time in November 2020, I believe, and now it's been downgraded further to where it's below junk bond status, which is not good. So I'll read some of the technical quotes from it when we get into it a little bit further, but we just want to talk about sort of the ramifications of what's going to come forward in the future and how we're going to see possibly Guitar Center shifting and pivoting to make this whole thing work.
Well, see, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, you understand this stuff way better than I do. I'm an idiot.
I just read words and speak things.
But, I mean, I think there comes a point when people hear this stuff where they're like, who gives a, you know what? Because it never seems, it's one of those things where it almost seems imaginary. Like nothing happens, right? Like, are we to the point where we see something?
But you have seen stuff happen. Because everyone I talk to, from the guys that work at GCs to the guys that shop at GCs to the gals that shop and work at GCs as well. I apologize for leaving you out in the first sentence.
There's no girl. Nice.
I know. It's a bunch of white dudes. Let's be real. Ugh, so depressing. No, but you've seen sometimes you've seen the morale degradation because they've changed their entire structure as far as payout and your commission rates,
okay,
right?
That's
true. You do
see
that from the working side. You see it being understaffed and overworked.
Yes.
You see it from the shopper, the customer's perspective, like not having guitars that they want to actually play. Maintenance of the guitars aren't there. The new GCs are not really GCs of the old days. Like back in the GC Open, it was the Guitar Center.
Yeah.
It was a circus.
When do you think it stopped being that, though?
2009.
Okay.
Was when I went, but 2008 is when Bain took over. And sort of things went, they bought it for outrageous amounts, and then, the country went through the shit can of that economic crash.
Right.
And then they bought it at a high point, and it was like, bam, they lost everything. They're just trying to save their shirts.
Okay. And I guess it's sort of steadily gone to what we have now. Because I just went to one in Little Rock, Arkansas.
It wasn't a good experience.
It was actually okay. It was an okay. I mean, I've been in a few where it was just, I told you I went in the one a few months before that was like, I couldn't even find the person working. It was just boxes everywhere and like.
And again, that's what you're saying. It's not the guys that work there's fault.
No,
of course it's the company, and we'll get into sort of the structure of who owns GC and what their plans and their goals are. Spoilers to make money, but it's not everyone's plans.
Evil.
I mean, that's a business for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do. We make money theoretically, so we can pay for hair and grooming products for our beards and our coiffs.
That's true.
That's the entire goal. What we do. Anyway, so I'm going to read some of the quotes too, because it's sort of fun. This is what you read when you see the sort of breakouts. Guitar Center's B3 CFR reflects the company's weak interest coverage and Moody's expectation that business conditions will remain challenging.
Their B3, their organ. What?
Well, it did used to be called Organ Center, but that's the sort of the fancier way of saying that we think their ability to actually make profit that is reaching a growth in the business is possible. And what I mean by that is they're not making enough profit right now to pay off their interest rates on their loans. So let's say you take a credit card.
So that's like, I can't even afford, I take my credit card, put a bunch of money on it, and now I can't afford to make my minimum payment anymore.
Correct.
I got you.
That is at their maximum profits outputs. They're not doing that.
Okay.
So there are some positives here.
That I can understand.
That's my life.
Holy shit, $50 a month? What?
No, it is funny because we have people that do buy lots of guitars and credit and finance and just be careful.
Bad idea.
Be careful. It's and again, sometimes it works out really well, sometimes it doesn't because there's these things that come and they just slap you in the ass when you get. If you miss one payment, oh, by the way, it's 25% interest for everything.
Oh, and it's back. It applies to everything.
Oh, you didn't read that part in the fine print? That $50 a month just became a lot worse. I know there's positive attributes to the Guitar Center's business, and Moody's reflected on it as well. They see that the product that they sell, musical instruments, does not degrade rapidly, such as CE consumer electronics and other products like food. It actually, a guitar is a guitar for perpetuity. Now, the problem you see in the stores is this guitar might have rusty, rotten strings and a gouge in it and maybe a crack and some sweat marks, but that's also part of this inherent system of why it's leading into this. So you do see it, right? That we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
They also, their music and arts business is actually a positive too for what Moody sees, because it relies on B&O, band and orchestra rentals, which is a continual stream. Lessons, again, a continual stream, not much of an output of product, but more labor.
Yeah.
And just the constant sort of low end investment. Like that you're not having $6,000 depreciating assets on your wall that are getting beat up by teenagers playing.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like maybe if you work in music and arts, you can correct me in the comments. I just feel like that would be living hell to work.
I didn't know where you were going.
I mean, I'm just sorry if anyone here is stuck in music and arts, because that just seems like, just going in them, they just seem.
This read is not. It wasn't working. This read map. No, maybe it's really fun. Maybe you're a read expert.
It could be.
One of my friends, her name is Lindsay. I won't say her last name because it's funny. I remember she wrote her doctorate on French blowing techniques of the 18th century for the flute. And I've always loved that to this day forward. And
it's a great.
She won't know.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, so it's tricky. So Guitar Center is not owned by Guitar Center anymore. It's owned by private equity. There's three groups: Ares Capital Management, Gade Capital Management, and the Carlyle Group. These are all groups that, I think they do over $2.5 billion per annum.
They sound like supervillain organizations.
It sounds like Umbrella Corp is also part of the ownership of. No, it does sound like that, and it's like, and I'm still. This is weird coming from us. You might think, but it's completely true. And any Guitar Center I go into, I espouse this as well. I like Guitar Center. I loved it in its glory days of 98 to 2008.
A good Guitar Center was awesome, and still you still meet some amazing dudes
from the Nashville stores to the LA stores to even the 14th Street one on Union Square in New York to the freaking one in Detroit near the airport. Those guys were that was one of the best teams. That when I walked in, those guys were they're up, they're looking, they're paying attention. It wasn't that busy, but they were doing stuff. Yeah, and they were excited to be there. There still is an engine working. There
is, and I think a good store that has good local management on that level.
The manager was
and good. Yeah, they'll be awesome.
And we want that to return, and I don't think it can return in the way that it did, because now it's owned by these groups that their interest isn't in the guitar business. Their interest is in money.
It wouldn't matter what business that was, right? It wouldn't matter if they were selling guitars or.
Well, and that's the problem that Moody's and any of us with Moody's talked about governance is their main problem with what GC is fighting right now, and it's the same as what any I'm going to explain this sort of break it down simply. Any of us are sort of seeing what's happening is as the investors and the owners of the group, their primary concern is obviously to make a profit. And as private equity, they can pull out and sort of cannibalize, a la Richard Gere and Pretty Woman, what he almost did to that boat company in those dockyards. I won't spoil it. It's a happy ending. But I'm proud of you. Thank you. Creepy movie if you watch it in retrospect.
There's a lot of creepy, weird things.
It's definitely weirder than I thought.
That are not right, yes. But
he's a watcher. Richard likes to watch a lot. No, but it's they can pull out and sort of break it down and sell it off bit by bit and sort of let it sort of wither and die until the profit has been bled out, and then it's gone and it can be rebranded, relaunched as something else. And that concerns Moody's as a business. Whereas you look at other businesses where there's a personal CEO tied that loves the business, that's really into it. I'll use stuff that Elon Musk is involved with. His ego would not want to let stuff fail. Right. It's the same as our little small house. We're all attached and love, well, for the most part, each other and what we do. But we care about it. We care about the guitar love of shops continuing. and like the businesses, not just ours, but all other ones, independent and GC thriving. And of course, one of our favorites, Sam Ash and old Sammy.
But I mean, because we care about people playing guitar. Like, we love music. We love guitar. We like the idea that there's like this weird legacy. You know, it's like I've been watching 1923, the little Yellowstone spinoff.
I haven't finished.
And it's like Harrison Ford is the rancher versus the evil miner banker guy.
Does he have force powers in this?
I wish he did, but he doesn't.
But so you sort of see that.
Well, I mean, like, you know, one guy's running a business and it happens to be a ranch, but he loves the land. He loves the idea. He doesn't want his ideas to die. The other guy's just like, screw it. I want the money. I want to ruin it and move on to the next thing. I want to own everything. And then I don't care what happens, you know.
We all wish that GC and the big businesses could get a little bit of that Dutton family thing.
Just some Dutton.
We're the wall
spirit
that progress breaks against. I love when he said that at the end of season
That's really
3
good.
or something.
Yeah.
I remember like that show, and Ted Lasso has like quotes you can't forget.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God, it's so funny.
It's pretty good.
Even though I've forgotten all the Lasso ones right now, as I wanted to pull one out of my bottom. But love that show. It's so much fun. I was gonna watch it with my kids because like I love the first season so much. Let's watch it with the kids. And I started. I was like, oh, they cuss.
Oh yeah, no.
And
It's not kid friendly. Neither
lots of
is
sex jokes and.
the old Yellowstone. Not.
Well, I was talking about Ted Lasso.
I know.
Not Yellowstone.
I'm just saying either one. Not so.
Sons of Anarchy. That's fine.
That's fine. It's
It's
different.
got the mom from
They're just children. They're just bikers. It's cool. It's fine.
That's like the best man soap opera. It's like Bold and Beautiful
that is what it is.
for men.
But it was glorious. It was
Glorious,
except for
great.
I still don't know how I feel about the ending.
I like that they ended it because there's no coming back.
I'm fine with them ending it that way. I just don't.
Once he like decides to like marry, marry the
thing.
Scottish guy, and then they move off and go start a farm in Scotland. I'm kidding. I would never spoil a TV show. We're wishing GC the best on this one, honestly. So like, I mean, I'm not wishing the corporate mega lords the best. I'm wishing like the guys
But
there,
the dudes who work
girls
there in the actual stores, yes.
the team there, like, and I wish the corporate structure would like be aware of like what the asset they have there, feed that, and you could actually maybe make it something great again.
You could. I mean, all the infrastructure is sort of in place.
I'm gonna get a hat, like we're gonna get customers that can make Guitar Center great again. We're getting a lot of trouble for that probably. We could do it. We can do it. Anyway, that's the latest music business news. Yeah, I can't.
That's it. There's no acronym. No.
It's acronyms are stupid anyway. I mean, I can't do it. No, that's the latest and greatest on. It's another series of downgrades and eventually leading towards another bankruptcy claim, most likely. Then a restructuring, another group of financiers coming in to squeeze a bit more out of it.
It's just wild to me that they could be. I mean, is that even an issue? I mean, they could just declare bankruptcy again,
and then you can cancel out your debts.
I feel like
And what's so funny about that? Let's say they do that, and they have a lot of Fender debt or Gibson debt or somebody, they cancel it.
And then guys, we're ready to order again. God, I hate
And Fender
everything
just be
about
like, ugh.
certain things about our system.
And I know the whole leadership team at Fender, and they're really, really cool. Like, I mean, from Andy to Tammy to like, I love Joey. You know, he just cracks me up. I have a friend crush on Tammy. Friend crush is different than like a crush. I just think she's cool. And it's like they're cool people. They're probably, God darn it, I have to suck on this. Like, Guitar Center's doing this again to us. Damn them! Then they get on their pirate ships and go over there and give us the money.
It just seems like you'd have to take a break before you could have another go after bankruptcy.
No, you don't.
I mean,
not in America. That's the American way.
God, darn
you!
It's like
bankruptcy back at it.
It's like I'm all about capitalism. That just seems like a really dumb form.
There are some.
I mean, it seems like that doesn't seem like true capitalism to me. But whatever.
No, there's
what do
some
I
weird
know?
Stuff. I don't know much either. It's confused. Thank you for watching again. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the old bell.
And it helps us further this a bit more. And,
it's true.
And just keep the dialogue going. It's fun to learn about this, and I'm fascinated. And again, wishing the best for everyone out there. Yeah. Even those corporate overlords, I kind of wish.
Hooray for no, they're probably horrible people.
No, I think they're nice people too.
that's
golden
a lot.
Parachute.
That is wrong. Probably like
I like it'd be like a golden parachute, but then like you crash in your Humvee really hard at the end. Oh God, I broke my ankles.
Killing puppies right now.
Lost my house in Bali.
You
have a house in Bali still?
No.
You sold that?
I had to get rid of that one. Yeah.
All right, I'm leaving. Thank you guys for joining us. Peace be with you.